Same problem.
Have you plugged
YouTube.
Have you taken it offline and put it online again?
You just reboot. You reboot the web page by refreshing it. That's how you reboot a web page. Woohoo! How they got hacked, episode 25.
25.
25. Tom Lawrence.
Xavier D. Johnson.
Maurice Nash.
All right.
And my Xavier D. Johnson is getting so muddied. I went to go Google myself today, and there are some characters that are popping up. The good news is it's throwing off all of the OS sent. It is throwing off all of the OS sent. The one that actually could be me, based on what I saw, has the wrong family members as relatives. It has the wrong current location. It has like 3 addresses ago, and it has the wrong middle initial. It's awesome. I'm like, yeah.
So, I will address something, as I did a couple of videos this morning, and I want to address some stupidity. Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. We're probably today going to ramble on about some complicated hacks and everything else, but the hacks that generally have yielded excellent results for these people have been this simple password reuse and no two-factor.
Right.
I was on the phone last night for an hour with a cybersecurity friend who does a lot, way more than he ever wishes, of breach remediation, going to specifically for IT providers. So he provided me with a lot of information, and a lot of it was facepalmy, not complicated, not sophisticated, high-level attacks. It's like, yeah, they reused the password here, and they reused the password here, and they left their tools wide open here. They left the RDP open here.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, it's just... It was mind-numbing. It's like, I like in the deep technical stuff here, and he does as well, but he's always so disheartened that it was so simple. He's like, these guys don't believe in password management at all, or password managers.
So let's be clear, right? If you listen to the latest Darknet Diaries, the way that these guys were hacking the entire world was what? Password reuse.
Password reuse.
Password reuse got them into Epic Games, got them into Microsoft, got them into IBM. Just because these employees were literally using their work emails on personal forums asking work questions with the exact same password as their work password.
The forum got popped, and that got them into every major gaming company. That was even the VPN password.
Yeah.
Let's talk about password reuse, folks.
Yeah, I mean,
it is an epidemic.
Use a password manager.
Please.
Invent JerkPass or whatever.
There you go.
Bitwarden is open source. Fork it, and only for a name change called JerkPass. That way you don't have to do any development work. Then you just pull all the upstream code, and you just have a little swap replacement thing going on when you do the merge request to swap out versus Bitwarden for JerkPass. Done. You will probably be more popular than Bitwarden really quickly.
Let's go. Right? Like, let's do it. I want to see one of our fans do it. We will support you. We are behind you. We have things that we want to make.
Yes, we want to make things. Someone says, how do we find Darknet Diaries? Well, I'm not going to be a smartass and throw...
let me Google that for you on the screen.
Let me Google them for you on the screen. I'll at least drop a link to it. We are a huge fan. Follow us on Twitter. And by the way, someone said they don't like using social media, and I get it. If you don't want to use social media, that's fine. I take a little bit of exception because one of the things I point out with Twitter, if you don't even want an account, you can see my tweets. All my stuff's public.
Yep, mine too.
So when I say follow me on Twitter, you can literally just go to my Twitter page and see the things I'm posting. I post links to things.
I'm pretty sure
stories.
There's an RSS to your Twitter.
Oh, yeah. And there's plenty of readers you can do. Matter of fact, I think there's a couple of them that even work in Bash. If you just have people you want to follow, that was completely, you're not giving any, because by not going to the website, you're not even giving information to Twitter. You can just do a poll. You're not handing them over info.
VPN over Tor, and then you get to do cool things.
They won't even know what IP address you're coming from, so they have absolutely no fingerprinting of you if that concerns you, which is fine. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I do spend some time on Twitter. I get it if you don't want to be on the Book of Faces, but it's a whole different animal.
And whoever you are that doesn't want to be on social media, can you let me know? Because what I would do is make your social media account for you, tweet very, very bad things, and make you want to pay me to get it back. Yeah, because your boss is going to believe that that's you. I'm sorry. Your boss is... That's why you should actually go and get your Facebook.
That's a really good point.
Go and get your Twitter.
That's a really good point.
I'm sitting here at a bar, and I'm rambling off, and I'm telling this really, really elite security person from over in Australia about how I feel about social media, right? And he's like, yeah, but you got to have it. I'm like, well, not really. He's like, but that's your number one source of identity. Like, that's Like, if somebody hacked your Twitter right now, somebody hacked your Facebook right now, you would get fired. I'm like, you are precise. Like, this is right. So, go out there. At least acquire your name. I'm just throwing that out there for you. You don't have to like it, but you might want to play the game since the game getting played. How about this? Facebook already has profiles. Shadow profiles.
Oh, yeah.
So you might already have a profile. Your data's already being scooped up and collected. You're already being tagged in pictures.
Yep. And here's the thing. I've talked about this a few times, and me and Xtoff, who's on my vlog Thursday yesterday, he's been a red teamer for a long time.
Go watch that video. It's amazing.
Yeah. He has a lot of interesting things to say. I've known him for a number of years, and it was cool to see him, and I haven't seen him in a number of years either. He moved to the other side of the country. Anyways, one of the things we talked about, me and him are, we both been online for a long time. I've been on in the BBS days, back in early dialing days, but I always look at any online forum, and yes, I can consider Facebook a forum, although a really advanced one compared to the BBS days for sure. I've always thought of it as a place where I control the narrative of what you know about me. Even though Facebook was a change in pace from a pseudonym that I had when on the BBS, and versus my real name is on Facebook and my real name is on Twitter, but I've always thought of it as a place where I control the narrative. And I come at it from that perspective. Anything I put on there is something I chose to put on there. I made the conscious choice to say, hey, look at me doing something stupid. And that's usually what my Twitter feed is, or some security stuff, or my Facebook, same thing. Here's my vacation photos. Is that all my vacation photos? Well, no. Those are the ones I felt, though, I would be on Facebook that could be in the public spotlight. I am fine with things that could be in this public spotlight that I put there, and anything else you keep locked down and secure. You don't trust there, and I never have trusted the privacy permission settings on Facebook. I've always been, I know it says it will stay private between me and Zuckerberg, which is not private at all, so therefore it's public.
For sale, or potentially just being leaked in some database that was patched 10 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
As if I haven't had my Facebook profile since I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing. I was thinking from the point of perspective of you're controlling the narrative, and like Xavier says, having those placeholders so people know who the real you is. It would be really hard. I've been on Facebook and Twitter for a long time, a lot of years. It would be hard to try to create a credential trail or a identity trail to say that's the real Tom Lawrence over here. It would be very difficult to do. Not to mention, I use Keybase and have all my sites verified.
Beat me to it. Then you connect it to your Keybase, and your Keybase has all these proofs over time for Twitter, GitHub. Maybe if everything gets compromised except for your GitHub, you can put out official messages over Keybase and GitHub, encrypt and sign all of your messages. And I've been digging into Keybase. I trust it. Yeah. I trust it. I like it a lot. Shout out to Keybase. You guys thought through this. I went through and actually defeated the cert pinning that you guys were doing. And I actually went and looked at what happens in the payload. And the only thing I could see is my name and Tom name, my name and Mo name. And this is our screen names. This is not first name, last name, anything like that. Right? And everything else is hashed. Everything else. It's amazing.
Yeah, and this is a publicly available, and we can drop it right now in the show notes.
And this is what switched me over to Keybase, reading this NCC group report, actually.
Yep. I mean, this is real. This is one of the things about Keybase that's really good here is they did a solid job. They spent some real money. There's a blog post associated as well.
This is a $40,000, $50,000 pen test.
Yep. Yeah. This is what a $50,000 application testing looks like, and it's
doesn't it look so much like my report?
It does.
Bing!
Which means she's not charging enough.
For now.
For now.
Get it while it's hot.
But it went through a solid code audit here with an excellent write-up of everything they found. They poked hard at it. And
they tried to break encryption, and I think they only got 2 low findings.
Yeah.
2 lows.
2 really low findings that were also patched prior to this publication here. And they weren't anything that would have been easily exploited. It was really obscure. So
it was something that nation states would have... Oh, no, there's one high.
Yeah.
There was one high.
Blacklist bypass verification. Yep. But once again, they're edge cases.
This has nothing to do with disclosure of data. This is just people being able to send you a message that you might have already blocked before.
Right. Yeah, it's really obscure. So super impressed with what they did there.
Yeah, I love Keybase. And I'm not sure that it's open source.
Keybase is.
It is, okay.
So Keybase, well, pseudo open source. We're going to say it that way. The client open source, which is perfect. That's actually what you want.
Yeah.
You have an open source client, but their back-end server side is not.
There you go.
So you can see all the code and compile everything that runs on your computer, which makes me happy. And then it just connects into the secure message brokering is happening on their side. But of course, you can see the protocols used on the open source side. So it's open source enough, and it's because they don't want to lose the federated access. They need that central management.
That makes sense.
So it's a business for them, by the way. That's why the server is the business. They're either going to, they're very, very well funded. They're the people that came up with, what's that dating site? Oh man, I can't remember it now. OkCupid.
Oh, wow!
And they sold when they sold OkCupid. The same team built this.
Wow!
I think it's okay. They were OkCupid. I'm 99% sure. Someone fact check me on that.
Man.
But they
if
sold.
If anybody know these
site.
Guys, please introduce them to. And
they're in Keybase. They're easy to reach out to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just gotta find them.
I will send the links to them.
Okay.
I think they retweeted one of my things when I did a review on them.
Really?
I got I'll offline. I'll get you a contact to them. Anyways. But yeah, they have a real legit product, and it's cool. Now, I think what their goal is, and this is a little fuzzy, but one of the things is what's nice is they're not funded by venture capital, so they don't have anyone breathing down their neck. They're funded by their own capital, so they're working it as a business model. A little unclear what they're going for. They wanted just to kind of make this really cool thing, and they did, to solve a problem of figuring out identity management and having secure communication methods. And they keep adding more features to it. They're hiring right now and putting some more people on there. But the other side of it is they're talking about selling like a business level access to people for a small amount of money, because it's not going to cost a lot to operate this as a company. So it's a really great product. I'm a huge fan of Keybase once I got my head wrapped around it, what it does, what it is, why you should use it. And matter of fact, that's how people send me PGP stuff. It's like they've hands down created a really simple method where you can just encrypt something using my key and get me a password. It's even my clients who don't have a lot of technology knowledge can use the Keybase IO system for encrypting. So
yes, it is very nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Oh yeah. So anyways, how do you compare to Telegram? I will quote our mathematician Richard Schneier. I'd rather be stabbed in the eye with a needle than review Telegram's code any further and the messy algorithm they put together. I would say it is. Telegram is a disaster when it comes to security. It's very convoluted and messy. The other side of that is
tea. Look, I got to sip on my tea.
Mm-hmm. The other side of it is Telegram is just popular. It's not a horrible product, but it's also not necessarily the most secure product. The implementation is not open source. It's confusing. People said it's kind of the security researchers and anything, and Bruce Schneier being one of the people I quote on it. They looked at it and said, it might be secure. It's really hard to read code. So that's not exactly the most reassuring thing. Versus you take something like Signal and the way the Signal's ratchet protocol works. They said the code's a work of art. Moxie Marlinspike the dude's a certifiable genius. He's an excellent security expert. And when he put the Signal protocol, and Signal's one of the other secure communication channels that I love, it's solid. It's well vetted. It's completely open source. The only downside is they used to use Cloud Federation for it. What do they call that? It's like a cloud brokering thing. Google eliminated the ability to do this, but it used to keep them away from having an IP address. They could use cloud fronting. They used Google Cloud Fronting in it before, and Google eliminated that as a service now, which is unfortunate because one of the reasons he chose Cloud Fronting through Google services, one, the entire chain from the time it leaves your phone till the time it arrives on another phone, or when it leaves the application, because you can run it on your computer as well, the entire channel is encrypted 100%. So it doesn't matter that it passes through Google's cloud. The reason they were using Cloud Fronting was with Cloud Fronting, that allows you to bypass a lot of filtering because if I'm in a country that does filtering, shut down Google. Try it. Do your best. You're going to have a really hard time with it. You have to really work at trying to shut down Google as a whole or figure out where it's coming from. So they also don't know it's a signal from Signal. When they're trying to watch the data stream, it's an encrypted, well-encrypted stream landing in the Google Cloud. What the hell service are they using? You don't know. It's going over 443 and a standard encrypted method. So because they chose a encapsulation that looks like standard encrypted protocol, and then it just hits the big Google Cloud. It looks like any other Google Stream. Therefore, you hide in the noise without knowing you're going to Signal.
And so this is very, very common in malware authors. They like to use things like Twitter as command and control. Use things like GitHub for command and control. What else do they use right now for command and control? There's some. Oh, Slack. Slack was the latest one. Slack.org. Go look up Slack.org. Right. So like, it's going to be hard for my business, for the company that I work for, my employer, to say, hey, we're going to block all Slack traffic.
Right.
That's going to be icky. Right. Meanwhile, I'm like doing a massive exfil over Slack, and it just looks like regular business over Slack.
Yeah.
You know, any type of data loss prevention is getting harder and harder for corporate entities because any of these tools are so powerful that they can be the exfiltration method.
They are. It's getting crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you got like CASP or something like that. Like there's this whole entire market where like basically they look for cloud access brokerage, basically CASB. Look up CASB, CASB. Cloud access security brokers, and what they do is they actually sit in between your local area network and any remote network that you set, and they look for certain packet types, right? They look at how the data flows, and they look for certain data types, right? DOCX versus MP3 versus PDF, and they try and block and thwart anything that could be potentially protected, right? There should be protected, so that you don't have to worry about data leakage.
Mm-hmm. Now, I did a demo earlier today talking about Screen Connect and the way you can use that to what's happening. And the reason I brought it up is how the bad actors are using that when they infiltrate some of these IT providers. Screen Connect, you see them in the news a lot, not because there's any flaw in the product, but because the product is so powerful, it has become a very popular product. It was the company itself was acquired by ConnectWise for some untold amount of money. I'm sure it was huge money. It's a massive product. It's really popular in my entire marketplace. But when people get take that over, it allows for mass deployment of ransomware.
And other things like wipers.
Yeah, and wipers. Really, any script you want. If you can do a PowerShell script and a deploy script and download something.
And potentially just bash.
Yeah, or bash if it's connected to a Linux machine. There's so much you can do with it. So it's one of those.
And it's running as system.
And it's all running as system.
It's running as system. And you know how hard it is for me as Xavier D. Johnson on my own machine to run something as system?
Yeah. You're just bypassing everything.
Right. There's no UAC for system.
Nope. There's no UAC prompts or nothing. I can just send a PowerShell script. I can have it as a download. Then I can pipe
delete the C drive. Nothing's going to pop up and be like, are you sure you want that? Yeah. The computer's just going to be like, cool. Deleting
and with all these companies, the latest ransomware, they're selling ransomware as a service. So I guess it's RAS. I guess that's how we call it.
RAS.
But it's ransomware as a service.
Wow.
So you can basically, the way the tiers work in the ransomware industry right now, and why ransomware is such a hot topic, is, there's the people that write the ransomware that are really good coders. And they're like, how do we scale this? I don't want to run around being a script kiddie and getting people's password. But there's a lot of people that do. So we'll sell the kits for you. So these ransomware as a service companies pop up, and I call them companies. They are criminal enterprises, but they are still businesses, and this is their model. They write the software, they sell a kit, you buy a license from them, and they vet who you are, so they don't, they know you're not the three-letter agency that they may be worried about. They I think one of the rules was they only will talk to you in certain languages, like Russian and something else. So if you better brush, if you're an American trying to infiltrate, you better brush up on your Russian. Anyways, but they'll put these together, and then they sell these as a kit, as a service. So here, we guarantee this much, and they get a cut of it. And then the people who have a password may attack a city, a school district, or whatever, like we've seen, or they go, hey, I gotta, and here's where it goes a step further. It's an attack vector we can only speculate out, but we can't know for sure. But picture if you are a IT service writer and you have a very disgruntled employee who's still working there. And he's the breach. He gives his password. He logs in remotely for it because he knows your company doesn't have 2FA or whatever. And he knows the inside information. So he just goes and outside of the office.
What about that one MSP provider that just got breached earlier this week that we were looking at? And there was one account.
One account.
The one account that they got access to was the one that didn't have 2FA.
Yeah. One account didn't have it.
And it sends them a prompt every single time they log in. They go, do you want to set up 2FA? Every other account had it except for this one admin's account. Seems a little icky.
Yeah, you can see it's just so... There's so many problems with this on every level, and you can mass deploy it and everything else. So,
shout out to David Stahl. He works over at Ubiquity. He does security over there.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to him. He just joined us.
Very cool. You know we love some Ubiquity.
We love Ubiquity stuff.
I am... over here, I'll put this on the table, too. I've been using this to hold my whiskey. I got These are Ubiquity. We pre-program and get them ready, so...
I think I got a Ubiquity in my backpack.
There's a Ubiquity in his backpack. He's going to be doing some... Xavier's going to get in on some of these Edge videos, so... Hi, Ubiquity. Nothing bad. We're actually doing some good stuff. We're going to show some more useful features of Ubiquity.
Amazing.
I gotta get rocking on some new videos for Ubiquity stuff. We love their equipment. In case anyone who doesn't follow my other channel know, I have an entire playlist of all kinds of Unify equipment and mass deployments.
He is the way that I got into Ubiquity. Actually, I was watching his videos for quite the time before I actually decided to make the shift. What did it for me was I was talking to a friend who I trust very, very much. He's like, why don't you run Ubiquity? I'm like, my other friend runs Ubiquity. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to do it all manually. And then I talked to my uncle who got me into computing. And he's like, yeah, man, I just run Ubiquity. And I'm like, okay. Well, what the fuck? Like, the 3 people I trust the most are running this already. Like, at least I know if I brick it, I can call them and be like, hey, I'm fucked. Yeah. And I got at least 3 different people to help me. But it seems to be unbrickable. I haven't gotten it to break yet.
No, they make a solid product.
Since I've been there, and it's only been like a year and a half, they've updated a lot. Their entire panel is different now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's Ubiquity in the stack behind us too. That's what's feeding all of this. All this is connected over Ubiquity. So
there you go.
Anyways, did I just close all the tabs again? No. All right. I'm sometimes a moron. It's all right. I got a cold.
Here, just plug this in.
Just plug that in.
Ooh, don't do it.
So let me. Should we? Would you guys be interested in getting some USBs from us that were pre-programmed with fun? Just asking. We're just tossing out some ideas. We got to fund this channel. We got to fund our whiskey habit over here.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get monetized in YouTube. So can we interest you in some USBs? Maybe some bad-ass USBs. Maybe that's what we'll call them. The how you get hacked USB kit.
The how you get hacked USBs. This is literally how you get hacked. Don't go to work and plug this up.
Please don't.
I'm just throwing that out there because we don't want to be allegedly responsible for anything that you allegedly do.
Anyways, let's go throw us a couple news stories out there.
Woohoo!
What do we have this week?
What do we have this week? So I actually kind of like this one because I think this is a great big FU to the ransomware people. U.S. City rejects 5.3 million ransom demand and just restores their files. This is like the exact opposite that we've done.
This is the response that you're supposed to give.
Yeah, I thought this was kind of cool.
That means they've been listening to us.
They've been listening to us, and they had proper backup. They had the proper stuff. So apparently they thought $5 million Bitcoin ransom would be a good, to hit the city. They heard they had a process. But, they tried to make a counteroffer. Well, apparently, I think it probably was a stall tactic. The city decided to make a counteroffer of $400,000, which seemed consistent with the ransomware played out of municipalities. But the attackers declined, so they just said, "Okay, we're just going to restore." Probably my guess was the negotiating and why they even did a back and forth with them was just a stall tactic while they finished restoring everything. Let's toy with them a little bit and it'll piss them off some more.
Let's waste their time. Let's build some more forensics. Let's see if we can help the FBI.
Yeah, and maybe looking for a way to get a hold of them, to get them to slip up, and things like that, figure out who they are. But either way, I like a feel-good story like that. So that was worth bringing up.
We're just going to restore this stuff. I mean, we wanted to get our last 6 days worth of data, but for 5.some million, meh.
So yeah, we've been seeing some hosting companies knocked offline.
Oh boy,
I feel there might be a correlation here between one, the ransomware we're going to get to that's a few down. How did that ransomware get there? You mentioned a ransomware for hosting company. You sent a link earlier, and then this, the XMTMS flaw.
Which, oh my God, if you haven't patched this yet, what are you doing? It's been 3 months.
No,
right?
This is a new one.
Oh,
there's another one. Even if you did patch 3 months ago, and probably didn't, but
it was like 5 million or something.
Our watchers have patched, but trust me. Yeah, and then I went ahead over here to Shodan. Oh, I didn't autofill. Shodan.io.
That is the whiskey.
That's the whiskey.
It's like Shodan.
Who knows what's going to come up? We're not going to type that. EXIM.
Jerk pass is going to be like, did you mean?
ESMT X time 492. Which version is the flaw in? Let's go down. Oh, look. Version 492 after publishing. If we add a 492.9.2, what does that reduce this down to? Oh, it won't. That's okay.
There's a way for you to do it, though.
Yeah, either way, there's 5 million of these XMs posted, so I'm sure.
Space.4.x, I believe. Or space.4. 4.x usually will do it. I believe.
I don't know.
All right, yeah.
Tom learns how to use Shodan. .92. Hold on, I think I know what I did wrong. I put another dot.
There you go.
There we go. 3 million.
3.5 out of the 5.2. That's a large portion.
I'm shocked at how many are patched. So there's 2 million running the old version for the exploit we talked about several episodes ago, but there's 3.5 million on the current version that is exploitable.
Sheesh.
So hold on, is it? Yeah.
Ouch.
Oh, they released 4.9.2.2. Okay, so I did read it right. I put the dot in the wrong place. So how many people are on this version? And error. Oh.
It's not even indexed yet, probably.
It might not be. Oh, here we go. We just refreshed it. So some people have
only 1,000 of 3.5 million.
Let's just say
it's the weekend.
It's the weekend, guys. We're going home. Just pwn us over the weekend. Only 1,000 people.
Listen, we'll take the time to make a backup before we take the time to update.
Is there a .1? I wonder. Because it's .2. Because .1 would be vulnerable specifically.
77,000 are immediately pwnable if you write a scanner.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to.
So, anyways, you can see this is just some bad shit going on here. Talk for a second. I have to go get a Kleenex. My nose is running out. Can't help it. If not, it's going to be gross on this.
I think they want to see the grossness. They'll start throwing money at us if you sneeze on cam. So now that time's gone, we're about to talk about... What do you want to talk about, Mo? Oh, Mo, where your channel at?
I didn't make the channel yet. I didn't create it, but it's coming. I have been working on the
I told you I was going to put that pressure on them. Did I put the pressure on you all week?
Yeah, I've been working on it. I've been working on the trailer. I have about 34 seconds of it done.
34 seconds.
I'm trying to give you at least a whole minute and a half worth. It's coming. Video editing is
hard.
Tedious.
It is not fun. Tom makes it look easy. I try in one take. If you watch any of my videos, you see I'll mess up and keep going. I would be like, whoops, I guess that didn't work. So we're just going to go over here and do the next thing.
Oh, mine is different. It's like a variety of things.
Oh, yeah. He's got a variety show.
There's a lot to making it. Part of it, too, I'm 30 videos away from 900 videos on my channel. And by the way, the 800 and some odd videos on my channel are the ones I did publish. Right. There's at least 2,000-3,000 more that I made that I said this isn't. Matter of fact, I scrapped. I did a video the other day. Got here in the morning, did the video, watched it. I said this content's bad, and I'm really hard on myself on it all the time. So I just delete it. Matter of fact, even that one was a 2 takes, and I didn't like either take. Yep. So I just scrapped the video and said it went right back to work.
That's actually the majority of my experience creating.
It still happens. I just do something. The take is just wrong. The nice thing about live is you're kind of forced to get it right.
Yep.
But I'm comfortable live, though, because I've done so many live interviews. I don't feel the pressure as much as I used to. And because I do so many videos, I just kind of mumble my way through the live videos.
I've been a consultant, so live just feels like life to me.
Mm-hmm. And I know enough to keep egging things on and keep the conversation moving and stuff like that. So even when I got a cold, I'm going to be crashing hard.
Who gets a fucking summertime cold?
I know. I was in Pittsburgh. I get back from Pittsburgh, and I'm dying.
Did you get to the incline at all?
Yeah, we went to dive bars in Pittsburgh. We did the whole Pittsburgh experience.
So you went to that one long strip that's just like 4 miles of bars. Oh my God. If you're ever in Pittsburgh, there's this one strip. It's literally a straight line. And it's literally 4 miles of bars.
Yeah.
Bar after bar after bar.
After bar. And
if you go during like homecoming, which is when we went, it is insane. Like it turns into like Party Central.
It's an interesting city for sure.
It's amazing.
Shout out to anyone who's out in Pittsburgh.
I love Pittsburgh. Man, only if Steel would come back.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They got some. They're doing some money down there.
Yeah, they have a huge banking industry.
So we've been waiting for this, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, meh. Right? Like, I already have it, but the fact that now it's on Metasploit means that it's going to get bad, because, I don't know, there's still a whole lot of people that aren't patched for this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Nobody patches. That's the... these are, as much as we like to talk about complicated things, come back to the basic one. Did you patch your shit?
And I was talking about this earlier. I don't remember exactly where, but you got 30 days to patch a high.
Mm-hmm.
That's standard.
Yeah.
That's standard. You got 90 days to patch a medium, right? A blue key vulnerability is probably a very high. So there should be a 72-hour SLA, right? But a high, you get a full 30 days. Depending on where you go, depending on the kind of business you do, if you're a marketing and ad agency, you might not even really have a strong vulnerability program, right? If you're a startup that's like the size of my company that's moved from, startup to mid-sized company, you might have a more mature vulnerability assessment program, but you still will have people that are like, oh, this is a high, right? Or the scanner may just come out and say, this is a high, right?
Yeah.
So then you get that put into the pipeline, put into the backlog, and then you got to work with product management to be able to actually get that scope, like, scheduled, right? Like, you can't, nobody's just going to allow you to say, move, we have to do security work. That's not how this works. And that's the reason why security is so much more social than it is technical. You have to be able to get people to invest and buy into the fact that this security problem is a big deal, right? And so it's interesting the way that it works in corporate. I will say this, though. If there's some place that marks this as a high, they got 30 days. It's only been like 45 days since it came out.
So they ain't done it.
They ain't done it yet.
And
it might come out next Friday if they're on like the same sprint as us.
And as an IT provider, especially for small businesses, we take over small businesses all the time. That previous IT just wasn't patching anything, and that's common. It's aggravation. It's a challenge. But it is what it is. And we have another one. I think I may have mentioned it last week. They never followed up with me, and I tried a couple times. They just said we looked too expensive based on our having a nice website, which I thought was like
amazing.
I guess
then
it's
that means that you are.
That I am, I guess. And they have a medical facility, and they admit. I got a couple emails back from them, but they admit they're like hanging out in the open when they want all kinds of compliance and blah blah blah. But they think that our current rate's $150 an hour. They think that's way out of line. And I'm like,
one, it's not.
Yeah, I'm like, you want us to do all this, and somehow by inherently we will. If you guys get breached and we do it, then you're going to ask us questions about what we did wrong, and there's a lot of liability. That's why I have a good team, and it goes through and audits this, but it is what it is. Let's go back to something fun.
Orange, bro. Orange is amazing.
Yes,
Orange is amazing. Orange is amazing.
This was a great find on the FortiGate SSL VPN.
And this is what was leveraged in all of those, like there was a Twitter SSRF that was used. This was used in a Yahoo one.
Yes.
So like these people that find these, like Orange, if you go out and you follow him, if you find him on HackerOne, you'll see the $20,000 bounty.
Yeah.
$15,000 bounty, because he's the person with it, and he's gone out and he's spanked. Boop. I was able to get private certs and keys and do arbitrary file reads, and yeah, it's amazing.
But when we look at this is what's interesting, and this is kind of a glaring flaw. And this is a commercial, expensive FortiGate VPN.
Expensive.
Yeah, this is not your
it's
cheap
not
stuff.
You got at home.
And people dog on me about using pfSense. I'm like, there's a reason I like the open source and the security vetting they get, and the fact that they use things like they take. pfSense is conglomerating standard open source products into a single product. OpenVPN, it's solid, it's vetted. What do? They take things. They take SSL VPN and they put their own FortiGate twist on it, and they added some magic, including the magic backdoor.
There you go.
So what they do is in the login page...
magic.
It's magic. In the login page, we found a special parameter called magic. It's literally called that. That's wonderful. Once a parameter meets a hard-coded string, we can modify any user password. So according to one survey, there are still plenty of FortiGate SSLs that lack this patch.
Are we not done with backdoors from factories? This is not 1994.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is a wonderfully detailed write-up of exactly how they did it, each step of the way.
Why do you need a backdoor back into your product for?
Well, and it's usually lazy programmers and stuff like that. I do like that they memed it. If you meme something, dude, I'm that much more respect for you as a security researcher. If you took the time, reverse me, fuzz, and they fuzzed away at it. And this is
magic.
This is, once again, a top-notch, excellent read-up with, of course, POC here. So we got proof of concept of it working, how they did it. And these are one of the things, like, these are attainable for you to test this type of stuff. Well, maybe you don't have a FortiGate VPN, but I like the fact that they walked you through the process.
I'm
really
pretty sure you can get our showdown and find one. Allegedly.
But people are certainly out there finding them and stuff like that. But, once again, it's a commercial firewall company that's just hanging in the wind here. And
I believe that this is used, like what they actually pwned was used in multiple products. So it's not even just FortiGate. I think that it was Cisco was affected as well, right?
PureVPN.
Right, PureVPN was
PureVPN's affected by it.
So the bug that we talked to you guys about last week, the PureVPN bug, boom. It's
another related attack to that. Yep. So
it's nuts.
Now this is outright fun. This is art. This is art in action. Did you guys play with this site at all?
So is this the one from DC313?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is so cool. If you guys want to know in the most cool, interactive way, this site, application.security, it'll be in the show notes, it helps you walk through how they seen things. So we're going to copy Bob's email. Capital 10. We're going to go through how the Capital 1 bridge. Erratic 321. Sounds familiar. Let's go to more account services. We're going to change the card image. And they're walking you through how this was done. We're drag the little image over here. Upload and preview. Cool. I want to change my card image. And by the way, any place will do it. What do we see up here? We appear to have s3.usentral1.amazon.com file upload and a bucket ID.jpg. What could we do is set information.
Bucket ID is huge.
Yeah, bucket ID is huge. So we probably should copy that, right? Oh, it didn't let me copy from here. Well, heck, we can copy it here. They did it convenient on the side for us. Next. And enter. Oh, they want us to paste it here. Anyways, you get the idea. Instructions. Oh, as Bob URL, I'll submit the updated URL. Okay. This is. Then that. Then next. You can see how you're walking through each step of the way. Then they walk you through how this done. Whoever put the site together, just thank you. This is such a good job of walking through in a very tangible, so you can follow way of how they did all of this and put the back end code in.
I wish I was this good at making web apps.
Me too. This is just so beautiful how they did this, and I like it because built with Contra. So I think it couldn't even be advertised. What is Contra? So Contra's
it's just them.
It's this is them, but it's some interactive thing. Is it a tool they use? I don't know. Whoever did this, thank you.
Rocks.
And you can jump to any one of the page. You can see how they did the SSRF over here. You can jump to the final page, how they list the IAM roles and how they were able to get those out. This walks you through, like I said, elegantly through how the hack occurred. And this is the point of learning. You're going to learn how it occurred, which then you can extrapolate into other data to how do you pivot through other things. Where else have you seen a bucket ID like that? Where else may you have seen it? And hopefully other companies are doing this too, but this is, can help launch your, where do you get started in security? If this fascinates you, if walking through this site piqued your interest, maybe this is for you and you should start poking away at it. And what I want to do is highlight, this is hard work, but you can do it. It's done by people. It can be done once you know where to start looking at it. And I thought that was just a beautiful way to present that.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was my thoughts on that whole thing there.
It's a great find.
I don't know who found it in the DC303, but it was really cool.
Rose.
Rose found it? Yeah, it's a great learning tool.
Hey, Rose.
This was amazing right here.
Oh, you've seen this too, yeah.
This was amazing.
This is cool. Using TensorFlow machine learning for automated RF side channel attack and classification. These are some of the things that with machine learning, it's not that people always think robots are going to replace this and stuff like that. No, it's like anything else. This computer is an assistive tool in the storytelling. YouTube is an assistive telling in mass storytelling. We don't have to sit around campfires like 200 years ago. This is one more assistive tool in the evolution of humans. We keep making complicated things. This will help us decipher complicated things. Right. So you come up with a repetitive task. You use machine learning to break out the noise. Okay, all right, how does the RF noise when you're doing this, and we're touching the same spot on this little, is that a phone or is it a tablet? I wasn't.
Phone.
Yeah, phone, okay. So it was an odd device either way. But then using the machine learning algorithms, we can start distinguishing the signal from the noise. And then you create training data sets. And this is a wonderful walkthrough each step of the way, how you do the training, how you can determine what this side channel information is telling you, and then how to read the noise. And once you've done this, now it's created a template, a learning template. Now we can learn that by this RF interference means they press that button. As simple as that sounds, if we can figure out everywhere you press on the phone for the buttons, well, that's going to turn into me knowing what your passcode is.
Keylogger over the wire.
Keylogger
over the air.
Over the air. Yeah. Just by listening, applying machine learning. By the way, when you talk about something like TensorFlow, I think of those, what's that new NVIDIA little $100 box? You've seen those, right? The new NVIDIA ones that have TensorFlow built in? They're basically like single board computers with TensorFlow. Single board computer TensorFlow. I should pull this up there. Really slick. Google's got one too, but NVIDIA makes one. That's not the one. That's not the one. But it's a really neat single board computer that can run the tempo. What is it? NVIDIA. What is that one called? I can't believe you guys can't remember the name of it. So you're looking at these. You're fucking awesome. Jetson. NVIDIA Jetson.
No, not familiar.
These are the Jetson boards. So actually,
wow.
we'll just type in NVIDIA Jetson. I'll pull it up for the crowd here.
Okay.
NVIDIA Jetson. This thing is awesome.
Kyle Johnston says Jetson.
Yeah, I should have.
They know. They own it.
Right here, $99 Jetson Nano developer kit. So this gives you access to some of that TensorFlow machine learning in the size of a Raspberry Pi. So now you talk about not just a side channel attack, a couple RF antennas, a $99 Jetson board, Xavier's backpack with a little battery. Next thing you know, he knows what I typed on my phone. We're not there yet. But we're getting there. We're getting there. It's going to take some more smart people, some of you guys watching this, to assemble all this together. Actually, someone built one of these, the more advanced version of it, and stuck it in a Tesla, and it real-time reads all the Tesla cameras and turns your car into a collector of license plates. So now as I drive my Tesla, I can use one of these to collect license plate data and decipher it in real time.
Wow. Yeah,
I mean, my car's a driving surveillance station.
Did we talk about it last
Allegedly.
week? About just like that the RF thing, researchers were putting listening device on the table, so when people type on their keyboard, they can decipher what keys they were typing.
Similar concepts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So,
intense.
If you're looking for other bug bounties to collect on, though, expanding bug bounties on Google Play. This is an announcement from Google. So they're consistently looking for further improve their security and privacy of products and the ecosystem support. At Google, we understand the strength of their open platforms, the ecosystems, and the best ideas don't always come from within. They're offering a broad range of vulnerability reward programs and community to help us improve security. Now, a couple little details about this that's interesting. Google Play rewards program. If you found people who are violating their terms and conditions. That's actually part of the bug bounty, is finding some of the people who try to develop programs that don't quite ask for permissions. And there's ways people have found ways around the sandbox, essentially. So when you submit an application to Google Play, and I say, I'm going to ask for access to only the camera but not the microphone, but then your app does ask for a permission microphone, Google can find and flag that. But there's people who have found ways around it by weird, hacky methods. And that's what Google's looking for, is applications that violate certain things. And that is also, sounds like, is included in the bug reporting. So this is Google getting serious about it and saying that Google Play is part of now the bug bounty program, which I think is a pretty solid improvement for Google. And they're going to ask, hey, help us police this. It's become the largest store out there. It is bigger than Apple Store. And people cite that as a security problem. It can be, because we want to have an open ecosystem that allows us to load cool apps on our phones. But there is the other side of that, where nefarious and bad actors will also create apps that you should load on. They think you should load on your phone too. So if you see something, say something and get paid. Not like tell the government they don't pay you.
Right.
They just want you to squeal on everyone.
Story about this app that was available since 2010 called Cam Scanner.
Oh.
With over 100 million downloads, it started to deliver malware. So what do you do when you downloaded a program and it worked as intended for a while, and you just left it on your phone and you forgot about it, and it just starts to infect you?
Now this is a really hard thing to get around as well. So you get used to using any app, and some of these apps are started by kids in college and things like that. They write their app, it gets popular, and there was a good debrief. I'm trying to remember her name. She's a podcaster, and she made a couple cool apps. Gina Trapani, I think. She has a blog post she wrote about this of one of her apps that was a Chrome extension that became popular, but she then kind of quit maintaining it because she moved on to another project. She had a lot of large cash offers because so many people are using it. Now, the program didn't have a vulnerability. It didn't need an update, but they wanted to buy it from her to start adding features. But she, being someone who...
Adding features.
Right. She didn't want to surrender.
This application wants to use your keyboard.
And yeah, and she's not a college kid who needed money, and she thought she'd turn this around and go, let me dig into this because I'm also kind of a journalist. So let me dig in it and find out that these bad actors sometimes will take over when they don't see a maintainer anymore. Or hey, what happens when you get out of college? College debt, $100,000 sounds real great right out of college. I can eliminate that college burden for you there and buy this app that you somehow got 1 million downloads on, and people just keep using it, and then they'll swap it. So this is, this is a real problem that occurs where, app hijacking, essentially what it is. So an app that was already done gets hijacked, and it's something else to think about and consider. So if there's a weird update coming from there, it does scare me. And I don't know an easy solution for that because we want to make it easy. So if Xavier has the next big idea, there shouldn't be any gatekeepers between him, the idea, and getting it on the Google Play Store.
Except for Apple is a huge gatekeeper. And the first time that I need to upload my app to Apple, it takes 7 days because a human actually has to read my code.
Yeah.
And so they're going to eventually have to follow that model and say, hey, we're going to have to stifle innovation just a touch for safety.
Just a touch for safety.
We would have hover cars. Oh, I totally believe in humanity. I think we could have hover cars. The problem is I'm definitely not going to be safe in my hover car. I just know that for sure. Yeah. I'm not safe in my other ballistic missile I drive around, right?
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit. This is the latest trend in ransomware. We kind of touched on it, but I'll at least say that we're going to leave a link in the show notes for you guys. But there's a distributor for and I don't know how to say this. Is it Sada no Kibi? Yeah, I am bad with saying things in general.
That's the best pronunciation.
Okay.
I've heard.
Yeah. It looks really cool. All right. I like, they got some good branding here. But it's breaking and hijacking WordPress sites, injecting JavaScript. Another mess. So
kind of like MageCart.
Yeah, and there's so many. We have people turned down all the time, and we just had someone get their stuff hijacked that's on an old version of WordPress, and they don't want to. They don't want to pay us for updates.
And so now they're using WordPress to distribute fucking ransomware.
Yep.
Gee.
And it's crazy. We have a municipality that refuses to spend money on any updates, and now that we're like, look, dude, you have to update this here. It's getting hacked. They don't care. And I'm like, we know the traffic. We do hosting for some of these people, and we're trying to decide, do we kick them off of our hosting because they won't update? They don't affect our server. When they get on, we just shut it down, and then they go boo hoo, and I'm like, yeah, that sucked, doesn't it? And they're like, I won't pay my bill. I'm like, all right, you're
cool.
That's cool too. We have a pretty basic hosting package they've been on a legacy hosting for years.
Because they're going to leverage that as a beachhead to continue to do bad stuff.
Right, so we shut it down.
Now these attacks are coming from your hosting network.
Right. So we make sure we shut them down right away when we see we're running active scans, but we're not going to take the time it takes to update all this unless they want to pay us to do the work, and they don't.
Shit, crazy.
So it's kind of a mess, and we're slowly weeding those clients off. As their sites get hacked, they go away, and we just don't miss them because they don't want to spend any money anyways.
From a fucking piece of JavaScript,
man. This
from ransomware from JavaScript, bro. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Code. This is crazy.
What happens when you make a mistake and hack TechCrunch?
Yo,
boom. Whoops. Oh
no. And I think that's it. Did I run to the end of this? I did.
Is that it?
That's all I got today.
Yeah. What is our movie for the week?
What is our movie for the week? We babbled on for an hour here. So.
Oh no, hold on. No.
Oh, what do you got? What?
It is back to school time. And
you're right.
Should warn people. We should warn the kids, the students.
Students surprised malware masked as textbooks and essays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All my college students, be careful, please.
So, you said you wanted to cheat?
You are screwed two ways. How expensive the college books are, or you got pwned by ransomware or whatever this is here. Yeah, just some malware. Download an essay, get some malware.
Expect this. As hard as hackers have been going against universities, expect this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is a real problem.
A WinLNK.
Do not go on Pirate
generic
Bay
downloader.
looking for the latest textbook.
Don't go on Pirate Bay looking for anything.
School spamming using Stalkworm. You can also get infected visiting dubious sites.
Not
Spammers
the
are also distributing malicious textbook. So it's a back-to-school special extravaganza here going on. So, yeah.
Said you wanted to go to Czech? We got you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what a mess. What a mess.
What a mess. But seriously, what do we got for our movie of the week?
What do we got for movies? I don't know. What do we have for movies?
Well, you're the movie guy. I want to see the new Joker, but it's not coming out anytime soon.
Let's blame the price of textbooks. Yeah. Temple OS.
I've been open directory surfing. I've just been
Allegedly.
checking out different movies. Nothing really tech related. Oh, I did watch the movie. Was it called Anonymous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What is it about?
Hold on.
When did it come out?
2016.
Oh, yeah,
I think that was the
I
date.
probably already saw it there.
Yeah. Well, it was. Hold on. Is that the one where the girl disappears? Right? Like she's
Yeah.
not really there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. That one. Let me find that movie. Real
So,
quick.
a Russian kid. Was he Russian? He grew up poor, and then his mom worked for a bank or something, and they fired her, and they were going to lose the home. And so he started to learn how to hack, and then he got older, and he wanted to hack the bank, so he started hacking a bunch of banks and getting a lot of
Yeah.
What I saw was something that was called.
What was it?
No, it wasn't
I haven't
that.
watched any other movies. Where
It was called
I'm into
Darknet.
season 4 of Billions now, so until I'm done with Billions. I think we're 3 episodes into season 4. That's that. If you haven't seen Billions, man, that is just a really well written series. You can get it on. I think I'm pulling it off Amazon Prime. I don't know. I have a Roku and it's available. That's all I know.
DMCA coming soon.
They you know what? They made it. I mean, yes, I did pay for it.
There
I
you
know it was
go.
like
Throw it out
$9.
there.
It was actually $9. So I'm like, it's 13 episodes. Do I feel like downloading 13 episodes of something, or to just paying $9?
Stream it.
So I'm like $9, all HD, 4K. I'm like $9. You know how long it would take me to download, and not that long, but still.
Not that long.
Mo used to have that one internet.
I miss it.
Unlocked.
I miss it. I miss Rocket.
I kind
Fiber.
of look at some of the streaming of things in Netflix. Like Netflix did all the laws and all the BS that they came up with trying to stop everyone streaming. Netflix is like $10 a month, that'll fix it. And Hollywood's like, no. And they're like, holy shit, it worked. Like
Exactly.
they said that. It went down dramatically when these streaming services. Unfortunately, we're ratcheting it back up because now it's the content war. It's $10 a month for Netflix and $10 a month for XYZ company and then $10 a month for this. So it starts adding up real quick now.
I did find a good series, Surfing. I believe it also came out in 2016. It's a German Netflix series called Dark.
Oh, that looked good.
Yeah, you should watch it.
Is it good?
Yeah,
Okay.
you should watch
I'll
it.
add that to my queue because they released the latest Mindhunter.
Okay.
So I don't. Did you watch the first one?
No, I didn't
Oh,
catch it. Like,
So good, so good.
I need to catch it.
Yeah, and now the second one is the second season. I think is about Manson.
Okay.
So they really dive deep into serial killers.
Oh, yeah, you talked about it.
Yeah. It's really cool if you haven't seen that. So that's a good series as well.
Yeah, that's all I got. I'm just working on the other channel, working on content.
Yep. I Am Mother was interesting. I did watch that one. That's
Yeah, I did see that movie.
So-
It was interesting.
yeah, it wasn't amazing or anything. The trailer gives it all away. If you watch the trailer, you know the whole movie. If you watch the trailer,
Yeah.
Like I was kind of surprised. Like the trailer shows the robots turning on people. You're
I-
like, oh, okay, I know what goes on here.
Like, why would they do that?
I don't know.
That movie, I don't know. It's okay. It's not really.
It wasn't top notch. It was whatever. If you got an hour to kill, or an
Yeah.
hour and a half to kill, I wouldn't. It wasn't like one of those movies that I'm like, oh, you gotta see this. I'm looking forward to The Expanse coming out too. I'm a big sci-fi nerd, and all the whole series of The Expanse is also really well done sci-fi. So better than Us. It's pretty good. I have not seen that.
Bendrick said he got over 50 terabytes of them souls for you.
Mm,
That's Mo thing. Mo he's a data
Mhm.
hoarder. He's got data collecting problems.
I do.
It can be a challenge. Hoarding data is a real thing, man. It's
I got my first hard drive ever. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's an IDE drive. It probably will go when I plug it in, but I got it. It's 20 gigabytes. Mm-hmm. It's like this big.
I still have. So if you find me on, I have a best of Reddit that I got assigned to for. I've been on Reddit for like 10 years or whenever it started. Not long. Not long after it started, I had a username, but I posted about some of my data hoarding and the fact that since the 90s, stuff I downloaded from the BBS, I never got rid of. So I still have. I've always carried over to each new medium. And it's funny because it was a big deal to store all that data in the 90s when I downloaded it. And now it's like nothing. I still have my weird collection of magazines. Anything I could get a hold of, I just did. And I acquired it. And I just never let go of any of it.
That's Mo.
Yeah.
You're going to thank me one day.
Yeah, and I back it all up. I have it encrypted. It's stored in 2 locations at any given time, at minimum 2, sometimes more.
Listen, I'm anticipating anarchy actually becoming the popular thing, electricity going out, no more computers. You want to get your Tesla hacked? Got you. Turn the lights out. No more Tesla.
Have you guys ever seen the, what's that Vice that did the episode on how Cubans trade movies, how they made their own intranet and trade movies? I'm going to be the guy you think because I bring the movies to the island.
Yep.
You don't got no power.
No, we got we're going over to my friend's house. He put solar all over his house. He's off grid.
See?
Grid.
Yep. He's better than off grid. He's pushing back to the grid.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So he's more than off grid. I guess it's that way to describe it. He is the grid now. He's a part of it. Yeah, he's pushing it back.
He should be able just to have his own. You know what I'm saying? He should be able to be.
Oh, you can. Which the challenge is you push it back during the day and you take from it at night. Because there's no solar generator at night. He doesn't have any storage on site. That's where you do things like those power walls where you had a place to store it. If he stored it, he would be off-grid because he wouldn't need to pull from the city at night. He just has no storage method. So you actually sell to the city during the day. Actually, and that's when peak hours are. Peak hours here are 3 to 7. So you sell during 3 to 7, and then you pull back once the sun goes down.
Have we seen what happens when those power walls get punctured or set on fire or anything?
Yeah. Yep.
Does it spectacular?
No.
No?
No, it's kind of boring.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. That's actually by design.
I was hoping it was something amazing.
No.
Like, oh man, 20 years from now, the structure burns down.
If you now this is a real thing. If the fire was the power walls and the provided you build them the way Tesla builds them, the same way Tesla power walls are built, exactly the same methodology that was used to build Tesla cars, and that chemistry, because it's self-contained and each one is an 18650 battery, each one is its own self-contained cell. So it will do thermal runaway, but not by itself. If there is a fire at your house and you reach the critical temperature.
Oh, so they will go.
Yeah, they will.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah. They will
Let's
go
buy a power wall just to blow it up. All right. Just
right.
See allegedly what happens.
Exactly. Oh yeah, there's a request and trade sub too. So it's a subreddit for that. All right, I'm gonna go crash on my couch. My nose is red if you can't tell from this.
He's getting sick.
I am getting sick.
I'm tired. Mo just woke up, so he'll be up till tomorrow.
Yep.
Till what's today?
Sunday.
I'll be up till Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is you'll be up till Sunday. Today's Friday.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Till next time.
Till next time. We'll
Till next
turn
time.
this off here.
Peace.
See you guys.